Everybody together.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Gaurang Nitai Gaurang Nitai Gaurang Nitai Shri Shri Gaurang Nitai Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Srila Gurudev. पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की श्रीमद् भागवतम की ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshvabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naisthiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So here is a brochure of late program. I'll make it a little bigger and show you. There are totally 8 courses with 6 topics each. Mr. Prabhupada says here, one of you read it? Who has a mic with you?
Hare Krishna. Roles in ISKCON over 3 decades.
Yeah.
Personally, I wish all the existing GBC may be trained up so perfectly that in the future, in my absence, they can manage the whole society very nicely and strongly. That is my desire.
So this is what makes ISKCON very special. Srila Prabhupada did not just keep himself like a center of this ISKCON society. And after his demise, everything falls apart. This is what happens to most organizations, you see. One big hero comes, big famous guru. I don't want to mention any particular organization, you all know very well. And that fellow is like a shining star. When he dies, the organization is finished. Hmm. Recently, I was talking to Anandamaya Prabhu in Hyderabad. I told him that nowadays there are YouTube gurus who are getting millions of views. And they are leading the world, and they are all Mayavadis, impersonalists. We sometimes praise Prabhupada that Prabhupada started 108 centers within 12 years, and he had some 5,000 disciples. Now there are people having 5 million, 10 million followers. What about that? I asked him. So he was telling an interesting thing. He said when he went to this Pondicherry, he was telling this, Arabindo, they have a lot of lands and ashram they have. So he was telling now Arabindo's books are kept on the showcase for display. And even in that campus, people are now, you know, cooking meat and selling also. Although he was deadly against meat eating. Mm. So, although he's founder of that organization, in his own organization, such things are happening. And people are not reading the books. And many are coming to that place like for sightseeing and going. So, he was making a point that when a person is present in the planet, he has a tremendous influence over others. But after he passes away, then the activity is not perpetuated. After some 5 years or 10 years, the organization practically becomes null and void. But on the contrary, Srila Prabhupada, he left the world in 1977. Now, between 1977 to 2023, you will see 1977, 87, 97, 2007, and 40 years of ISKCON. If you see, ISKCON has 1,000 centers now. ISKCON started with 108 centers. Now there are 1,000 temples, 30 temples with a lot of activities happening, and many, many Namhata centers. And in India alone, there are more than 350, 400 small and big temples. And then eventually it is increasing. So he was making this point that Prabhupada made the society with his books as the basis. And he also made the governing body commissioners And then there is a system for choosing the guru, there is a system for making sannyasis, there is a system for first initiation, second initiation. There are systems set up, and every other meetings are happening. And all ISKCON centers are tied together to the GBC, who meets in Mayapur, and everybody ultimately obeys the GBC's mandate on how the center should be run. There is supervision, there is preaching, and it is just expanding like anything. Like in the last year, you see, you know, uh, total of something like, you know, 30,000 Bhagavatam sets across the globe are distributed, correct? No? And 25 lakh Bhagavad Gita's were distributed just in one Prabhupada marathon. So the kind of large scale activities that ISKCON is doing in the in terms of reaching out the books, in terms of reaching out the holy name, reaching out prasadam, in terms of expanding its preaching, it's happening a lot, and it is happening. Although the founder has passed away 50 years ago, he was glorifying this point. On the other hand, he said, even those who have 5 million, 10 million followers, wait and watch. As soon as they disappear from the planet, you don't hear about that organization anymore. They completely, you know, uh, they are gone into the oblivion after that. He was telling. And the secret of Prabhupada's success is this one, what you see here. He always said, identify those who are enthusiastic about preaching, managing, counseling. Anybody who is enthusiastic, and naturally they bring some people into this moment. And they should themselves be trained up so perfectly that, every one of them can start a center. So this course has the three aspects: dealing with the self, and then dealing with people, and dealing with mission. So in dealing with the self, there are four courses in that, focusing on attitude, character, empowerment, and positive outlook. So for all of you here, we are going to do the third course, empowerment. And in Pocharam, Singapore City, I am doing the first course, attitude. That's going on now for them. And for Temple ISKCON Abids devotees, there's a second course is going on, character. So I'm doing three courses simultaneously in Hyderabad. And each of these courses has how many topics? 6 topics, which I'll show you now. But those 6 topics will not end in 6 sittings, 6 courses. Because in one sitting, we are only sitting a couple of hours. Some of the topics have 2 parts. Like this, I have given you 2 parts, correct? I've sent you. So in 2 parts, we will complete. Some of them may be 3 parts, like that. So this is why we are learning about dealing with the self. Self means I am the soul seated in this bodily machine. I have to observe myself, how I speak, how I conduct myself, how I, you know, like for example, truthfulness, honesty, simplicity, integrity, and all these things, maturity. These are all about myself only. So therefore, right attitude, good character, uh, and getting empowerment by blessings, and having a positive outlook. All these things they matter. Yeah, because the positive outlook is a paradigm. So when we have a right paradigm, then we can do wonders in this world. One doctor was telling, he had one patient who was a chain smoker. 17 years he could not give up chain smoking. How many years? Despite the doctor working on him, trying on him. Finally, after 17 years, one day the doctor told him, you see, what do you think about smoking? The man said, oh, smoking is fun. It relieves me of tension. Then he said, I don't care about the future. Whatever age I have to die, I will die. But right now I'm enjoying. Like that he was talking. But still he was trying to give up. Can he give up? Why can't he give up? Because his paradigm is wrong. Like we say, 3 things. You can remember this SDG formula. Sarup Damodar Goswami, SDG. SDG means, S means see, D means do, G means get. See, do, get. C means have the right paradigm, and then do means act accordingly, behavior, and get means get the results. This is called SDG formula, we call it. So many times the problem is in the seeing. If because this fellow has a idea that smoking is not bad. So can the doctor make him give up? He cannot. On the other hand, what the doctor told him one day, okay, if you are so attached smoking, you smoke lifelong, no problem. But remember, your daughter has come to teenage, and last week she also started smoking. Huh? He he said, and in case imagine she gets a cancer in 2 3 years and she dies, huh? Will it be all right for you? Because smokers sometimes get cancer very easily also. He was shocked. Huh? The very prospect of thinking that his daughter may pass away, that very day he gave up smoking. Immediately after that, he never touched a cigarette because he understood that as a father, if I don't set an example, the daughter will imitate the bad behavior. So, therefore, what we have to change through these courses is not, what we behave or externally or what rituals we do. We have to go to the root, which is paradigm, our outlook of things. So that is the purpose. Prabhupada said in the West also when he went, he said, I am going to the West to change the way they think. He said, they are thinking of Darwin evolution. I am teaching them Vedic evolution. Huh. They are thinking everything came from nothing. I am teaching them everything came from Krishna. Huh. They are thinking goal of life is to eat, drink, and be merry. I am teaching them the goal of life is to uh, return back to the spiritual world, which is a place of mirth and merry, by pleasing the Supreme Lord. And you can never enjoy independently. You connect with Krishna, you flourish. You disconnect from Krishna, you perish. So this paradigm Prabhupada gave. So Prabhupada went to change the paradigm, the West. So as leaders, our outlook to everything in life matters a lot. And so we will learn the right outlooks from Prabhupada, from the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and Charitamrita. So this is dealing with the self, 4 courses. Then we have dealing with people, 2 courses, care and maturity. Then dealing with the mission, we have leadership and cooperation. So each of this, dealing with the self, it has got about 6 topics. This I said I'm doing it for the Singapore city, Pacharam I'm doing. Just now we have started with the first one there. Cultivating right attitude and carving our success. That's about attitude. This I'm doing in the temple. I'm on second topic now. So equip yourself to get empowered. You all got this course, third course now. A lot of nice things are there. In this, you see, you're going to learn first today about seeking divine empowerment. How do we get empowered in our spiritual life to do something great and wonderful for Prabhupada's pleasure? And then second one is early to bed and early to rise at Brahma Muhurta and chanting Hare Krishna attentively and studying Prabhupada's book systematically and thematically and balancing extremes. And then the last one is called as sincerity attracts grace. That is responsibility, commitment, and accountability. So very important topic. So like this, we have further courses also. See, this is course 4, changing thinking to succeed in challenge. So this brochure, I will send it to Leland so we can pass it to everybody. So in this seeking divine empowerment, the first part we are going to learn about the power, types of power, and then what is exactly meaning of empowerment. That's like you look at this bulb. Bulb is switched off, when it is switched on, it is glowing now. And it is doing the purpose of giving light. Correct, no? To us. In the same manner, some people live out their human form of life in this world without contributing anything to the world much. They just live out, they eat their food, they sleep, and the days and months and years go away. But other people are like this light, it is empowered by the electricity, and then it is doing, giving light to the entire room. Similarly, every one of us want to be a useful entity in this world, doing something wonderful. Our desire for empowerment is not to become a hero or a heroine, to impress the masses, or to become extremely popular, or to uh, control somebody, And that's not the purpose of empowerment. Empowerment is to be a useful element in the mission of Guru and Gauranga. Correct, no? So we'll learn more about that today. So this is based on the book by His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami on spiritual warrior. So some sections of it I have taken for understanding this. Is it big enough for all of you? So you can read it, please. So these courses are arranged in such a way that we will read a little bit, and then there will be some discussion, quiz will be there. Again, we read a little bit, that's how we go. No? Back and forth, yeah. Yes. Types of power.
Hare Krishna. Types of power. Different types of power influence individuals, communities, nations, and the planet. Ultimately, the degree of love expressed determines the nature of
Actually,
the power.
when Prabhuji is reading, every word we have to grasp so that then when it comes to the quiz, it will be easy for us to answer. Huh? Yes, Prabhu, you can read it again. Different types.
Different types of power influence individuals, communities, nations, and the planet.
How do we listen in such a way that the listening is fruitful and the listening can uh, be retained by us? What you learn. So there are a few ways I would like to suggest, because if you read Bhagavatam, we read Sisi, anywhere, anything you read, you can adapt some of these things, styles, which are very easy for you to grasp the content and reproduce later on. So one of the things is you picturize what you hear. Like here he says, individual. Communities, think of a group of people. Nations, think of India. Planet, think of the globe. If you think like that, then this one line is imprinted in your mind. Like, how many of you remember the song? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Any of you forgot this song? Then how long ago you sang this song? 30, 40 years ago. But how are you remembering it? Because the teacher taught you with the actions, correct, na? Twinkle, twinkle, like that, the actions and all correct. Na? So the actions and the picturizing, that actually helps you remember a lot. So actually we become internally alert, and our absorption power increases. One of the ways I told you is by picturizing everything that we hear. Actions and picturizing, these two things are very helpful. And another thing is to group the things and learn. It's called as associated memories. Whenever it comes, I'll tell you how do we associate. For example, when you hear a lecture, Prabhupada is speaking about association. Then he's saying good association, 2, 3 examples and one story he will say. Then it goes to bad association, 3 examples and one this thing. And then devotees, how they should not isolate themselves but insulate themselves. Some examples Prabhupada gives. So ultimately, you will say there are 3, 4 concepts with some explanations and examples. So you group them up like this in your mind. And Prabhupada, many lectures of Prabhupada, you will see. Prabhupada says, the divine are like this, the demoniac are like this. The divine get this good result, the demoniac get this bad result. And what are, so everything related to divine demoniac. So it's 2 broad categories. That is called associated memories. Very clear, no? So in this way, one of the things that we should not do is when someone is reading and we are inattentive, then we miss the line, what was read. So we will attentively listen, and then when the quiz comes, everybody can participate. Okay? Please go ahead. Ultimately,
Ultimately, the degree of love expressed determines the nature of the power and its effect on the environment. On the other hand, the extent of our envy and lust determines how far away from the source of love we have strayed in our spiritual evaluation.
Maharaj writes little mystically for the outsiders, but the source of love is none other than Krishna. Correct? No? So love on one hand, on the other hand, envy and lust on the other hand. Correct? No, it's opposites. So Krishna is source of love, and we all are connected to him, part and parcel. And love personified is Radharani. Radharani has ocean of love, and we have a drop of her love. And Krishna is the original Lord, and we are a part and parcel of Krishna. So we are part of Krishna, and we carry a particle of love in our heart, which is a part of Radharani's love. So, but in this world, people are afflicted by envy and lust, which means they have gone astray. They've gone far away from Lord, he says. Okay?
The, the Vedic tradition teaches that the inhabitants of this earth planet have come here because they are trying to usurp the power of God and seek to align themselves with another kind of power that can help them to achieve their goal. In other words, human beings want to play God. Our entire world history is dominated by the struggle of individuals, institutions, races, and political parties grabbing for power while trying to minimize God as the ultimate source of all power.
Mhm. Understood, no? Give a Shastra example for one who tried to play God. Any examples from Shastra? Hiranyakashipu, Paundraka, Hiranyakashipu, and then Ravana. These people try to usurp God's position, correct? No? They wanted to be the center of the whole world. Even Bali Maharaj was a Trilokadipati at one time. And in the modern times, any example? Hitler, yeah, Putin, yeah, yeah. People do miracles and try to become the center of the world. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, yeah. There are swamis also sometimes trying to claim to be God, and they want to be worshipped by everybody. So in this way, there are people who are trying to play God, and they are not empowered by God. They are empowered by power, another power other than God. What is that? Anybody knows? Maya. They're empowered by Maya. The Prabhupada says there are two type of Mahajans. One type of Mahajans are like, Bhaksansa Thakur, or Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Prabhupada, this type of people. And in those Mahajans, you can also include the scientists who are aligned with God. For example, Lord Kelvin said, if you think strongly enough, you'll be forced by science to believe in God, he said. Recently, I went to BI, Bhubaneswar. Outside, they put a big board which said a statement by Heisenberg. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Heisenberg says, if you take the first pinch of water from the glass of science, you will feel you are an atheist. But if you keep drinking the water at the bottom of the glass, you will find God. Like that he says. I got that statement. Very nice. So Heisenberg was a very great advocate of, God power. Similarly, Einstein, similarly Newton, similarly Benjamin Franklin, Lord Kelvin. So they are also true Mahajans in the sense that they all were appreciative of God and His power. Then this is one side, true Mahajan. There's a false Mahajan. Who are they? Like Charvak Muni, the Vedic times. He was a false Mahajan. Vena Raja, correct? No? He was like that. And then all the Asuras names which you all said, they're all like false Mahajans. In modern times, you can have Hollywood, Bollywood actors, actresses. They are all depicting very bad example. Mm. Like I heard in Kerala or somewhere, this one actor had gone there, Shahrukh Khan or somebody like that. They were saying. So he was speaking in the mic, and huge crowd of people had come to watch him. So he wanted to know the meaning of some of the bad words in Malayalam language. So he asked people, and they told him, and then he shouted it in the mic. Can you imagine? Just for the fun of the people. And people are clapping hands, things like that. So these are false Mahajan. False Mahajan means those who advocate demoniac culture. Mm, demoniac culture. So there are people who stand for God. That's all Vishnu party. Then there are people who are the opposite Vishnu party. They are called as Asura party. There is one verse which says, uh, "Nidyate mahayogyan patagani mahantapi tadyo nashyanti vaipumsam Vishnoriva sure taraha sura itaraha," he says. Sura means demigod. Who are sura itara? Demons. The other party. Vishnu, when Vishnu comes, Suras are fond of Vishnu, but Asuras go far away. They don't want Vishnu. Sura Itara, I say. So the divine and demoniac, two categories. So the ancient and the modern, both you can take. The two categories. So, okay, second question. Read it. Second question, read it. Who has the mic with you? Yeah.
This one, Roji, give a practical
Yes,
example
yeah.
for one who tried to play God in world history.
Yeah. Well, it's already you all said that. Some
Yeah.
examples you gave. Yeah. Like Alexander can be included also because he wanted to usurp the whole world, isn't it? Want to take over. I heard there was one fellow in the communist countries, even when he was living, he uh, destroyed many of the churches and mosques in his times. And destroyed in sense, he removed the gods worship there and he put his own statue. Can you imagine? He put his own statue there. Later on, when Stalin later on came, they destroyed all his statues. Yeah, and then they replaced with what they wanted to. In this world, you will find there's a competition between one human and another human, one culture and another culture, one country and another country. Always a controlled competition. The idea is everybody tries to be at the center, just like how many of you have played this musical, this thing, chair. You know that, correct? Who will sit first, correct? Same manner in this world, that's what is going on. People want to occupy, and they use all kind of diplomacy to do that, correct? Now, like when the Mughals came to India, they saw that some of the Indian kings are fighting with each other. So they made allies with one and made the other person enemy. So that it becomes easy for them to divide and rule. Divide India, then they could rule, they could take over. And why they want to take over? To loot the money, exploit the people with tax and everything. So this is a brutal power. Okay, read further.
As members of materialistic civilization, many Westerners believe that power means the ability to manipulate the people and resources, largely because these are the examples that are available. However, this is not genuine power. True power, which is internally based, is that ability to manifest whatever is needed without taxing the surrounding environment. As we develop a greater emphasis
The
on love,
surrounding environment includes nature, for example, the uh, environment. Whole world is very concerned about not polluting the environment. Whole world is concerned about not exploiting the resources by cutting down the trees for deforestation and things like that. And they are also concerned about not putting all kinds of effluents, chemicals into the rivers and polluting them. Correct now. So water pollution, air pollution, and also the deforestation. So these are all concerns of the modern day people, because of which you find, one is that environment, but the environment also includes the people who are living around you. Correct, no? Yeah. That means there are two type of power. One power is exploitative power, bhoga vritti we call. Another power is seva vritti, by which you render service. So you can use your power positively. Like a Kshatriya can use his power in two ways. One way is to do balatkar, exploit somebody. Hmm. Like, but Kshatriya is supposed to protect women, protect the praja. But in Kali Yuga chapter in 12th canto, it is said the later kings will tax the public and they will live at the cost of the public. They will fill up their pocket. That is exploitative king, correct, no? Why should you know about these two types of kings? Vidyam vivadaya, dhanam madaya, shakti paresham paripidanaya. That's a verse which says Brahmana can exploit by doing vitandavad and useless arguments. He can use his Sanskrit knowledge to waste others' time. Brahmana can do that. And Kshatriya can exploit women, wealth, and he can, just like what Duryodhana was doing or Vena was doing, like that. And Shakti Paresham Paripidanaya, to torture the people. And Vaishyas can become proud of their wealth. Dhanam Madhaya, he says. That means Vaishyas become proud of wealth and they will not give charity. They will earn a lot of wealth and they will live affluently, but they won't give charity. So these are all examples of exploitative Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. And the opposite of that is very important to know also. A Brahmana should become humble like a blade of grass, tolerant like a tree. Like, for example, the tree laden with fruits bends. A tree without fruits stands like Ashoka tree. Ashoka tree stands, no fruits there. Isn't it? But a tree with fruits bends. So he should be humble, not arrogant, or not, the center subject should be God. Similarly, Kshatriya should be like Ambarish Maharaj, or like Yudhishthir Maharaj, or like Parikshit Maharaj. And Vaishya should be like Nanda Baba, or any Vaishya who is doing Krishi Goraksha Vanijyam, the whole idea. So, in this way, Shastras give both examples. Yeah. Go ahead.
As we develop a greater emphasis on love and devotion in our communities, we will develop tremendous power to make positive changes happen. This is because we will be aligned with divine power, not our own limited capabilities. Otherwise, we may encounter constant frustration and struggle as we rely on external resources to shape our world. Because all material things are temporary and will eventually disappoint us, especially when we need them when we need them most. Them the most.
So, see, you can live in one community for 3 decades or 4 decades also without making much change in our paradigms and without influencing the people around you. Uh, It can happen with people who are incorrigible and who may not want to change. On the other hand, there are people who are thoughtful and they lend their ears to listen and they are willing to change their paradigms. And what is the changing of paradigm? I'll tell you, to put it more simply, I given in bold letters, you see. If we give a greater emphasis on love and devotion in our communities, then the power that we develop can make us influence others. But if we don't give emphasis to love and devotion, if we give only emphasis to material strategies of accomplishing the goals, then that will not make great positive changes. For example, Duryodhana is a materialist, Arjuna is a spiritualist. Duryodhana wanted 10,000 people in Narayana Sena. Arjuna wanted Krishna, and he was confident that one great Krishna is worth a million people in the army, like that. Okay, now let us see the quiz. Read the quiz.
Give an example for external resources to shape our world.
To shape your world, you can depend on external resources. What are some of the external resources people depend on to shape their world? Okay, internet. Okay, what else? Consumerism. Okay. No, actually, see, understand this question. We are not talking about the outside world. We are talking about ISKCON communities. Hmm. This, whenever we are talking, because the world is a very big world, we can talk so many things, general things. But we have to bring these things back to our application. Like we are telling about Hitler, Alexander, all this. We may think it's not relevant to me. It's very much relevant to us. Because we may not kill 10 million Jews like the way Hitler did. But we can have the same exploiting mentality. And we may hurt 10 people around us. We may not do 10 million people. So anything you learn from these lessons should not be for people outside your window. It should be for us. We should think. So we are talking about our communities only. For example, give an example for external resources to shape your world. For example, spiritual management versus material management. If you compare, what is the thought process? I will tell you. Spiritual management means Lord is above my head. Lord's eyes are witness. Lord is watching what we are doing. Material management means you cancel the Lord, like Arjuna canceled Krishna. He didn't care about Krishna. Another aspect of spiritual management means I make plans and God has to sanction it. I depend on His blessings. Same manner in your family also, a boy or a girl, they have chosen a partner in their life. And they go to parents and say that I have a desire, marry so and so. But if you bless, I will marry. If you don't want, I won't marry. Correct? No, that means they may purposes one may choose, but ultimately one has to depend on their blessings. Correct? No? Same manner as a devotee, I can make plans, but ultimately these plans have to be sanctioned by Krishna. That is spiritual management. Material management means like Arjuna and like Duryodhana. He said, he told all his crooked plans. I have Dronacharya, I have Bhishma, I have, Kripacharya, I have Karna. So he was only calculating materially. If you read the whole first chapter, who can do what? He says, Madarte Takta Jivita, all these people are ready to give up their bodies for me. So it's a material calculator. And Arjuna is a spiritual calculator. Arjuna is telling that I have Krishna with me and he will guide me. That's all. And I don't know anything. I am blind. I am foolish. If Krishna wills, he can help me. So that is spiritual dependence. So people who are depending on external resources means material calculators. You understand, no? So to shape your world, what are some of the material calculations we do generally? We think, oh, I have adequate money to do this. Or I have manpower, I have money, I have land, and I can do this, I can get it done. And if I can use my skill sets and strategies and plans to get things done. To think like this without including God in the equation, that is called this one. Example for shaping. You understand, no? So, how many of you are clearly able to see difference between spiritual management and material management? You're able to see difference? Yeah. What are some of the things you observed? One is dependence on the Lord, blessings. That's one thing I said. What else? That means it's not that you don't make plan. We make plan, but ultimately, Lord, yeah. Mm. So sometimes there may be challenges. Like in one family, like one Marwadi family, two cousins, they started a hotel. Mm. It was flourishing hotel for 4 or 5 years. But afterwards, one of those two fellows got an idea from a friend that if we introduce non-veg, we can get triple profit. You know, so then he suggested to the other partner. They both are partners. They invested lakhs and crores. Other partners was very strong. He said, no, we should not do that. We can't kill the creatures. We are coming from pure families and all that. Difference in opinion. And they went to the elders. And amongst elders also there was difference in opinion. Because when money comes, people are ready to go for anything. Some elders said, it's better, we should not eat these things, but nothing wrong in selling it. After all, that's how you can make more money. Money is honey. So they were only seeing things from profit point of view, money making point of view. Did they include God in the equation? See, this is material management. But the other cousin brother, he said, no, no, no. We are coming from good family. We should not touch meat. We should not sell meat. He was very strong about that. There were some elders also who said, yeah. So that means they feel that pap lagega. Correct, no? They have the fear. We should not do this. So in those days, people to drink also, they'll be afraid. Nowadays, in the middle of the city, you have liquor shops, you see. Because people's paradigms have changed. People they have become material managers, not spiritual managers. Correct, no? They're managing that. That's the point, you say. Okay, read that. Identifying different types of power.
Hare Krishna. Identifying types of power. We need various powers and use them to benefit others as per the plan of the Supreme Lord.
See, when you have power, and he's saying that you can use these powers to benefit others. That should be our intention. Like I have a speaking power. I can speak in a way I can benefit others. I have a singing power. I can sing for the pleasure of the Lord, and that may inspire the devotees to become, more absorbed in devotion to Krishna. That means I have a cooking power. I can cook very nice feast and distribute all the devotees. That means our intention of possessing power should be to please Hari Guru and Vaishnavas. What is the other flip side of it? When I possess some power, what other thought may go in our mind? Anybody? Want to gain popularity? That's one thing. Control others, arrogance. One can become proud, yeah? Sense gratification with that power. False guru or that? False ego. False ego, correct. On Mataji's side, we should give one mic to them also, if they want. There are two mics or only one you have? One is that side, yeah. Okay. So you all understand the flip side of it. That means we need various powers so that we can use them to benefit others as per Krishna's plan. Go ahead.
we need various powers and use them to benefit others as per the plan of the Supreme Lord. When we have power, we have uh, ammunition to make things happen. Otherwise, we are no more than a sentimental philosopher. The question then become whether our power is aligned with God and His agents or not. A true leader is careful in misusing power, realizing that ultimately all power belongs to God. We should never forget that the dark force are also extremely powerful and they can cause great damage. It is our responsibility to have the dis, dis, discernment to recognize the uh, difference and to align our power only with the highest.
Hare Krishna. So he's saying here, a true leader is careful to avoid misusing the power. Mm. Even though, therefore it is said, if you want to know the character of a man, give him power, it is said. And then see what he does. Does he misuse his power or does he rightly use his power? Mm. Yeah. So, and why I should not misuse the power? Because ultimately all the power belongs to Lord. Huh? Like for example, when we become preachers, or managers or counselors, we have so many people who are with us. Uh, Now, for example, I can take personal surveys from them sometimes. Uh, Like it was seen that sometimes a person is a counselor. He takes a lot of personal services from that person. You give me some money for purchasing this, or do this, bring that from the market, and you know, or he makes some of his counselees into servants at his home. Huh? Is it proper? No. That is example of exploiting. Uh, and in the same manner, controlling others' decisions too much. So therefore, you will find that our power, we have to make sure that our power is aligned with God and His agents. He's saying, a true leader is careful in avoiding misusing power, in realizing that ultimately everything comes from Krishna. Like Arjuna got the Gandiva, but the Gandiva was used by Arjuna only for establishing dharma. And after that, Krishna took away the power of Gandiva. You know that? Arjuna says that. Tadvai dhanushta ishabaha sarato yahaste soham prati nripatayo yata anamanti sarvam kshanena tadabhut asadishariktam bhasman hutam kuha karaptam ivoktamushyam. In that verse he says, oh, I am the same Arjun. This is the same chariot. These are the same horses. uh, and this is the same bow and arrow. Why my Gandiva is not as powerful as before? Because Krishna has taken away the Gandiva power. So Krishna empowered Arjuna and then he disempowered him. How many of you know this? You heard about this? Yeah. He empowered. Anybody can tell me why Krishna disempowered Arjuna by taking away the power of Gandiva? Any of you? Huh? Okay, purpose is over. The dharma is already established. Purpose is over. Okay, what else? Where the mic? Yeah. Actually, see, if you speak without the mic, I'm going to repeat it. Everything will be done two times. You want that or you speak only one to the mic directly? Yeah.
So that he continues in the path of bhakti and does not fall because of arrogance and pride and
You want to protect Arjuna. You want to see Arjuna protected. He didn't want the misuse of the power. Thank you. Krishna knows what is best. Yeah. That's the point he's saying here. And he says we should never forget that the dark forces are also extremely powerful. So tell me, the dark forces are powerful when, which time of the day they are powerful? Morning or afternoon when? Night, after the sunset, dark forces are powerful. Like for example, the the beer bars, the permit rooms, and they all become very active in the night. Brothels, all those places. Because the dark activities happen in the darkness of night. So they are demoniac forces, we call it. And they can cause great damage. So in our life, how are dark forces relevant? We also have two sides. We have a bright side and dark side of our personality. And dark side is our weaknesses. Weaknesses we have. Huh? Dark side is our weaknesses. And bright side are the things we are aligned with Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yeah. It is our responsibility to have the discernment. Discernment means discrimination. To recognize the difference and to align our power only with the highest. So, whatever power we use, we have to make sure we are using it for the right cause. I'll give you a small example. So, you all are giving charity. But how many of you would want to make sure that your charity goes for the right purpose of helping Prabhupada's desires in ISKCON? You want to make sure that your charity goes to the right way, correct? No? Yeah, right? Yeah, correct. Yeah. So now, say for example, you gave charity with some intention and that charity is being misused. You'll be very sorry that my charity has been misused, correct? No? And that is one of the reasons why even Krishna says in Gita, make sure whom are you giving charity to, correct? No? Otherwise it can. So money is also one type of power, but the power can be misused or it can be rightly used also. Okay, please give the quiz question, answer to the question. Yeah. Who is giving example? Give an example for the right use of power and wrong use of power. Parishit Maharaj, what did he do? He did right use of power, wrong use of power. Huh? Right use of power, yeah. Right. That's a good example, yeah. And then yes? Yeah? Prahlad Maharaj? Janak Maharaj, exactly. He was amazing king, he was. Krishna quotes his example in Gita, Karmanaiva hi samsiddham astito janakada. He was like a father for all the praja, right use of power. Prithu Maharaj, right use of power. Yudhishthir Maharaj, right use of power. So, some wrong use of power. Hiranyakashipu, like Vena. Vena was a king. Huh? Actually, Holika had a power that she can enter fire without getting her body destroyed. But she used it for a wrong purpose. She took Prahlad on her lap, correct? No? Finally, Prahlad came out, she died. Wrong use of power. Kartaviryajan, wrong use of power. Because he had 1,000 hands and he did balatkar of the cow kept by Jamadagni. Wrong use of power. Vali also, wrong use of power. So you can give so many examples. Yeah. So, as a devotee, like we all are trying to be devotees, so can you give some examples of, as preachers, managers, counselors, how we can do right use of power or wrong use of power? Some examples we can give. We don't need any names here. Until now, we gave names. Now, without names, we will say the principle we can say. Okay, it's clear? Yeah.
If we do devotional service in the right manner or preaching in the right manner, so that's the example.
That's the right use of our power. Okay, that is it's a general practice. I am especially asking about leaders. Those who are in leadership position, how they can do right use of power or wrong use of power. Is the right use of power?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Even in the corporate offices where leaders work, they can propagate Krishna consciousness in a subtle way. Prabhuji.
So you are using your office influence to, reach out the message of Prabhupada's books or invite them for Janmashtami. So they respect you as a colleague and you use that respect to propagate Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
And benefit them.
Yes.
That's the right use of power. Okay, encourage them to read Bhagavata. Okay. What are the right use of power you can do? You can say what power you can possess and how you can use that power in a right way. Both you can say. Yes, Maji.
Prabhuji, as a leader, we can just start the reading session in our group
Right.
to develop the reading habit of the devotees.
You can do that.
Mataji's,
You can do that. You can actually use your valuable time, and so time is also a power. You can use the time for reading groups. I am looking for more examples. Like I'll tell you, for example, say one of you Matajis know art of parenting a child, for example. So that is a power you have because you have undergone some counseling course. You have that talent, and many ladies would like to learn from you how to raise children. Many have small babies. So in your colony, you put up a course on art of raising small children, something like that. So 50 ladies come, and then you use that as a platform to give Krishna consciousness. Correct? No, that means right use of power. You have some power, and you are using it in that way. Yeah, like one of you is a very good MC, master of ceremony. You are a very charismatic speaker. Now you are using that charismatic speaking power not for just making some videos and putting in the YouTube just like that, but you are going to a company or a college and giving a seminar where you connect them to devotees. So right use of power, some skill. Yes.
Prabhuji, sometimes our material qualifications and designations in material circles also can be used to put forward a point,
Correct.
and it can be
Very true. That's very true. Yeah. And people respect you for that. Like we have one, what do you call it? Agricultural officer in Pune, staying in the temple. Actually, this officer is such a big man in Maharashtra. He's like number 2 or something. Once in a very big gathering of agricultural people, leaders and all. So he very strongly insisted that every one of our leaders should be given a copy of Bhagavad Gita. So they took 5,000 Bhagavad Gitas. They took in one shot, one order they placed. So he used his power because he's in a very big position. When he says, people will listen. So he used his power to reach Gita to everybody. Correct, no? Yeah. So in this way, we can use our powers for the right use. So can you think of some wrong use of power? How a leader can make a wrong use of power?
Yeah, leveraging the team members for his personal.
That
activities.
I have already released that example. You should release some new example which I haven't told till now.
Material gain or wealth.
Using his power, like you can explain more. Otherwise,
So, for example, the preacher or the leader can use the wealth because people are donating money for that spreading Krishna consciousness
Yeah,
or so.
for his
because the
personal
person
purpose.
can for his own personal
Ah,
benefit.
saying that I want money for Krishna's service and then using it for one's own sake, then it is misuse of power. Very good.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Using the power to suppress any Krishna consciousness activities,
He can do that.
especially politicians and some of the police also. We have
Correct.
seen that personally during our Rath Yatra.
Yeah, envious elements they may suppress. Yeah. And also, now they may do that because they are misusing their political power. But amongst devotees, can devotee leaders also suppress? For example, say there was one colony in Pune, one preacher was preaching in English, he was giving. This is the colony here, and here is another colony in the same lane. So one program is going on in English. One another preacher started Hindi program here. Then what happened? Some of the people coming here, English people, their parents started going to this program because they wanted in Hindi. So then these two preachers had a big fight. So this preacher was saying that, see, my program is going on for 5-6 years. 5-6 years is going on, and you are coming and starting. I think you want to compete with me. I think you want to take away all my people to your program because Hindi is more appealing to people than English. So I will lose all my people and they will all go to your program. And then they had a tussle on their own between them, and when it developed into bitterness, they brought the matter to me. Then I told the both of them, see, you are complementing each other. You are doing in English, he is doing in Hindi. And here the sons and daughters go here and the parents go here. And they are not very far also. Same day, both programs can go on. Everybody can come, both can benefit like that. No need. I told you, don't feel that he is competing. He has no ill intention towards you. And if you are going to not allow him to do the Hindi program, you are suppressing Krishna consciousness. Like that I said. That's your freedom given. We should not become envious that actually the audience is the whole world is for you. you know, How many of you feel in the same colony if two programs also go on, there is no problem? How many of you feel? Correct, now? Isn't it? There are so many people, thousands actually. Nowadays in one colony there are 1,000 houses, 2,000 houses nowadays. You don't have to feel envious. So some people, because they feel envy, they suppress or they talk ill of the other preacher. They tell other people, hey, make sure, none of your people in your family go there. You come here, this kind of things. And then people will lose faith in us. They will think that we are envious of one another. They will say that, what can you guys preach to us? You amongst yourself only are fighting. They will say like that. So we should not do wrong use of power. Yeah.
Sometimes we have some authority to approve things, and people sometimes misuse that power to not authorize anything.
Correct.
If they don't like some person or some particular, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
We also see
Or
that.
approve by showing nepotism, favoritism,
Yes.
or not approve somebody who is deserving. Correct? No? Yeah, that's wrong use of power. Say, for example, you have a opportunity for some job in ISKCON, for example, job. So when you are going to recruit people, sometimes people show favoritism. Is my man and his man and things like that. Then it is a wrong use of power. You should, Prabhupada says, when you're building a building, you don't ask a civil engineer, are you Brahmana civil engineer, Shudra civil engineer? You don't ask. If you have the talent, you engage him. Correct, no? Similarly, in Pune also, I have told our devotees, you should never see who is which guru's disciple. If he has the necessary talent to serve in Govindas, or serve in accounts, or serve in some department, you should close your eyes and recruit him. Because we should recruit on merit, not based on nepotism, favoritism. Is that clear to everybody? Yeah. Like in one temple, the leader had recruited, his brother-in-law, sister-in-law, uncle, aunt, and later on the management found out that there are 12 people from his family. Yeah. And the problem was many of them were actually not qualified for the job. ISKCON is giving them salary, but they are not doing the job so well. They are recruited only on one basis. Anybody can say? Relationship, blood relationship, family. So he's thinking everybody is getting a job and they're getting salary. He's very happy. He is happy, but the organization is not benefiting. That's the wrong use of power. Correct, no? Yeah. So, like you will see, Yudhishthir Maharaj was asked by the Yaksha, all your four brothers have died because of, drinking the poisonous water. I can give one of those brothers to you. So whom did he choose? Nakula he chose. Nakul. Because he said, for Kunti I am there, for Madri there should be someone. What a kind of broad-mindedness. You can see that. Absolutely no favoritism. If there was favoritism, he would have chosen Arjuna or Bhima. On the other hand, Dhritarashtra is just the opposite. Mamaka, Pandavaschaiva, like that he says. Okay, go for the physical power. Next one.
Physical power. The first and most obvious type of power is physical power. When physical strength is the law by which an individual or group functions, we tend to see a great deal of struggle and abuse, such as corruption, war, genocide, and ecocide. Although this behavior is extremely animalistic, many societies still function on these levels.
This is what we say, gundas and all they arrange to beat up, correct, no? Hoodlums, that kind of very horrible things. Sometimes it happens, people get physical sometimes, because they see that the other person is not following what they're saying and they beat up the person. You heard about beating up, no? People doing, correct, no? Yeah, people do that. That's what he's talking about. It can lead to genocide or ecocide, wars, corruption. Wars are all physically dealing with people. So this is a physical power. Misuse of physical power is talking. So can you give example of one with strong physical power? What comes to my mind is Hiranyaksha. Hiranyaksha went to Varuna Deva and said, Sir, I fall at your feet. I have come to beg you for charity, he said. And he asked Varuna Deva, what do you want? You are begging, how can I say no? Please tell me, what do you want? He said, "Sir, I want to fight with you." He said, "Yeah." And then Varunadeva understood, he's teasing me. He is not a gentleman. He is sarcastically teasing me. And Varunadeva said, then I will also tease him. You know what he said? "You see, I have become very old and frail. I have no physical strength. You are a very mighty warrior. Therefore, I will suggest you that you go to Lord Varaha, who has just now appeared on the planet. So he has reinstated Earth in its orbit now. So go to that personality, and he will make sure that he defeats you and makes you lie flat on the ground and makes your body food for the jackals and eagles." Either he says. He will make sure you will never get up. Once you get a blow from him, you will never get up. He told him. So both of them spoke sarcastically to each other. Both Varuna Deva and Hiranyaksha. Varuna Deva could have fought with him, but he wanted to divert him to Lord Varaha. So because Hiranyaksha was physically strong, he wanted to show that prowess to many. That's what happened with Kartivirya Arjuna also, I was telling you. He was much mightier and stronger than Ravana also. Yeah. Any short example of one with a weak physical power? Any example? Dhritarashtra, he was blind, but when he embraced, when he embraced Bhima's statue, he crushed it. Dhritarashtra was very strong. Yes? Prahlad?
Uttar.
Uttar, correct. The Virat son's king. He was a big talker. When he went to the battle, he saw the army, he wanted to take a U-turn and run away. Okay. Yes.
Draupadi?
Huh?
Draupadi was not physically
She is a woman. That cannot be quoted as example because Draupadi is supposed to be weak only in the body. Women are physically, women's body is weaker generally. But here we are talking about somebody who is supposed to be strong physically, a king. Yeah, he is weak like Uttar. I read that, institutional power.
Institutional power. The second kind is institutional power, found in governments, churches, political parties, etc. In this type of power, the structure, rules, and survival of the organization tend to become ends in themselves, while the essence, the original purpose, is forgotten.
You understand the point? For example, many times there's a structure in a church, for example, there is a rabbi, there are abbots, then there are people below, there are many people. So the structure is there. Something similar can happen in ISKCON also. We may have GBC, then we have presidents, then we have general managers, then we have Bhakti Vriksha leaders. And so sometimes the structure is there, and sometimes they put up in the notice board also. These are the structures. But not all are operational sometimes. Any place you go in the world, they will tell you that, Prabhu, in paper we have 30 Bhakti Vrikshas. But only, 5 are operational, something like that. And 10 are operational. Because many times putting things in paper is more easy. But to make those things happen practically and consistently, persistently for years together is not very easy. So sometimes, see, what is the purpose of a church or a temple? To propagate Krishna consciousness. That purpose is forgotten. It's actually called as a substance and the structure. See, what is the purpose of a Bisleri bottle? Say, I tell one of you, can you please get me a Bisleri bottle? You come and give me empty Bisleri bottle. Is it good? Why am I asking for a Bisleri bottle? Yeah, because that substance should be there inside. Correct, no? Like I asked the boy, hey, why is the fan there? What is the purpose of the fan? He said, the purpose of the fan is to rotate. He said, no, that is not the purpose. Some fan, like that fan is rotating. Is it giving you wind also? Is it giving? Yeah. If it is not giving wind, is it very good to rotate? What is the use? So the purpose of a fan is to give you air. The purpose of the light is to give you, the purpose of a lamp is to give you light. Similarly, the purpose of a temple or a preaching center is to propagate Krishna consciousness. There should be culture of practice and then propagation. Like you have a center, books should be going out. Harinam Sankirtan is going out. New people are getting connected. People are taking to chanting. The 5 things are given. Krishna Darshan, Krishna Shiksha, Krishna Bhakta Sangha, Krishna Nam, and Krishna Prasadam. These 5 things are substance of a center. So we have Krishna Darshan. And we have Krishna Shiksha. There should be education and training going on. And Krishna Bhakta, and also Prabhupada books, are Krishna Shiksha. And then Krishna Bhakta Sangha means there are devotees available to answer the questions when people ask. And newcomers should become devotees. And then Krishna Nam and Krishna Prasadam. Mala should be distributed, and thousands of mala should be distributed. Thousands of people should be getting prasadam. But in my travels, I went to one ISKCON temple. It was having a hall little bigger than this. The width was almost similar, little bigger. So it was in the daytime I went, was very idle, 11 o'clock hard. So he was telling, the leader of the temple was telling, that, Prabhu, we are only operating on Sundays. Other days hardly anybody comes. Sunday feast program we have. Then I asked, what happens here? No, what about the community congregation? He said, by Prabhupada's mercy, we get 3 life members in a month. And with that, our life is going on. We are doing maintenance. And there is not much activity happening there. It's not a happening temple. So that means, will Prabhupada be happy with such a place that you just got a place, you have deities, and on the weekends people come to take darshan of the deities. Other days hardly people are coming. People are not awakened in their Krishna consciousness. Then the purpose is defeated. So it's called as a form and function, we call it. Form and function. So Krishna gives 3 examples in Gita for the form and function. Like the dhumena viriyate vaknir yatolpena malena cha. That verse says. Like in villages, if you see, we have a boiler which has a rod in the middle, like this. They put fire in the bottom, coal and everything with a disc. And then it so how do you know there is fire inside? The water is getting heated. When you touch the cylinder like this, water will be hot. That means the function is happening. Correct, no? The form of fire is not seen, but the function is happening. Water is getting heated up. On the other hand, you see a mirror. The mirror is there, but it's covered with dust. There, what is there? The form is seen, but the function is impaired. Correct, no? Because the dust is covering. Can you see your face in there? Then function is not happening. So which is better? Which should be there? Form should be there or function should be there, or which out of the two is more important? Function is more important. For example, I am putting a bead bag around my neck, but I never chant. Correct, no? I simply keep like a show, I am a devotee. Correct, no? Like I saw somebody was wearing tilak in a temple. I asked, how many rounds are you chanting? He said, I'm not chanting. He said, really? How you are wearing tilak? I thought, they said, somebody put for me how to wear tilak. I said, okay, you're newly come to temple, it's all right. Now you take the japa beads. Similarly, some college students are wearing kantimala nowadays. I asked, hey, you follow 4 regs. What are they? I don't know. And what is this kantimala you are wearing? Oh, that's for stylish. That's wearing. So that means what is there? Form is there, but function is missing. Function is not there. Nowadays, you find even some of the advertisement, you find a fellow with beard and hair like a Yogi Baba. One Maharaj was commenting, he looks like Yogi, but he's having a woman right next to him. Is putting his hand around her. What kind of yogi is a cheater? Actually, a yogi is one who controls his senses. That's the meaning of a yogi. He may look like charismatically, he may look like a yogi, but he is a dog. He's living like a dog. Uncontrolled senses. So that means what is there? Form is there like a yogi, but function is not there. He's not functioning like a yogi. Similarly, function like a two-legged dog, isn't it? So, therefore, what do we need? Which is important out of the two, form or the function? Both are important, but out of the two, which is more important? Function is more important. So, our centers should have both form and the function. Not only... Actually, sometimes you find people give amazing news, but the actual facts are very small. You've seen that sometimes. Outsiders are very expert in marketing. They will do this and they will, blow out of proportion. That means therefore, we have to ensure that the form and function both are there, but out of the two. Okay, we read that?
Should I
Yeah.
continue?
Please read it further.
Institutional power often becomes a matter of leaders occupying figurehead positions and acting in an extremely superficial way, minimizing the genuine care and growth of the people they are supposed to be serving.
Yeah. For example, I am president of a temple. I should be doing something that will benefit the community. Uh, it's not enough for me to occupy the post. No. I should do something by which people's lives are touched, their lives are transformed. I should be rendering some service. Each of us have to ask ourselves, okay, I am a preacher, I am a leader. How am I doing in my field? Am I touching and transforming the lives of people? Go ahead, please.
Most of the available energy is directed towards maintaining the organization and the privileges of the leaders.
See, yeah, yes.
Institutions require leaders who are attuned, powerful, loving, compassionate, and focused on truly serving their members.
Mhm. Actually, having my car, having my office, putting a board outside, there are leaders who have a big designation outside, but they have no followers. They have they haven't done any good work. So that's why he's saying that if you have institutional power, you are given a post. That post is not for privileges. It's not for enjoying privileges. It's for rendering service. So companies also nowadays have started thinking. Imagine if you are 38 or 40 years, companies are thinking whether this fellow should be kept or we can replace him by a young boy who is 21 or 22 who can do the same work. Why they are comparing and seeing? Anybody knows? Because they are paying you a fat salary. But if a new boy joins at 22, they can pay him a meager salary. So therefore, when I go from 21 to 38, I should be valuable to the company in such a way that I should be doing something what the 21-year-old boy cannot do. That is how you have to bring value to yourself. In ISKCON also, there are some people who have become senior in number of years. They're called as seniors. They've seen many years. But they haven't done much. Now they may be saying that I am 20 years in ISKCON. Okay, you are 20 years. And they are asking, can somebody do this for me? Can somebody do that for me? Why? One example I'll tell you. When His Holiness Gopal Maharaj once came to Pune in his room, some people went to complain about one senior devotee. They said, Maharaj, we called this senior fellow to come and sing in our group. He came. But now he says that he will take over this whole group of 40 people, because some people like him in the group. He wants to take over. And he wants to be counselor for the whole group. So, we brought these people. We are cultivating these people. We occasionally want to invite him, but he wants to take over the whole thing. And Maharaj told that devotee, see, Prabhu, why don't you preach and make devotees? He said, no, Maharaj, I am very old now, and this I can directly take counseling of these people. Maharaj said, first you preach, bring people, and then you counsel, he said. Not that already there are people somebody else is preaching to, and you want to counsel. So Maharaj was telling him that, you also do little kasrat, little hard work, and bring people to the movement. And if they invite you, you just go give a lecture and come. And you don't try to take people from them, and especially when they don't want you to do that. They want to have the group separate. So the whole idea is what? We should not only have designations, positions, privileges. The position is not for seeking privileges. His Holiness Bhaktirasant Maharaj was there in one sannyas program in Vrindavan. He was telling to the 3 sannyasis took sannyas on that day. From, I think, Prabhupada Gopal Maharaj, I think, yeah. So 3, 4 other sannyasis were speaking. His Holiness Jarananda Maharaj was speaking. His Holiness Bhaktirasant Maharaj was speaking. So His Holiness Jarananda Maharaj was telling, you see, when you take sannyas, you get a BMW, he said. Everybody was wondering, you get a car? He said, no, you get the danda, which is representing body, mind, words. Yeah. You get that means you should be totally surrendered to Guru's mission. Your body, mind, and words. And then His Holiness Bhaktirasant Maharaj spoke. He said, see, sannyas is not for getting privileges, although you will get. People will take you in costly cars, people will give you posh houses to live, people feed you opulent prasad. But that is not the goal of sannyas. He said the goal of sannyas is service. And you should appreciate that I got service opportunity. In the same manner, you will see all of you when you are taking a leadership position, a lot of people give us respect. See, when people are offering us obeisances, we may think that we are receiving obeisances, but actually it will weaken our position if we don't serve them. Huh? If you don't serve those people and elevate them, then receiving obeisances, actually receiving obeisances is as much as paying money to you. You become debtor by that, by receiving obeisances. So we have to give back to the people. Most of the available energy is directed towards maintaining organization and privileges of the leaders, he's saying. Yeah, yes.
Prabhuji, I'm not trying to find faults on a person here, but just sharing some, thoughts. When I read, especially that sentence,
Yeah,
that they're superficial,
yeah,
extremely superficial, minimizing the genuine care and growth of the people where they're supposed to be serving. Many times I see, Prabhuji, leaders don't reply to emails also.
mm.
You write it's an important mail and their reply is important because they are in the two group, not in the CC or BCC, right? They don't reply. And many times we see that like ISKCON means, first thing that comes to mind is deity worship, festivals, book distribution. And when these things are happening, those leaders are not there.
Mm.
Sometimes I wonder what is more important than a book distribution rewarding ceremony. For example, you're rewarding all the devotees who have worked hard that year in a marathon,
Mm.
right? I mean, that's one of the most pleasing service to Prabhupada.
Correct. That's right.
And on that day, the presidents of the temple are not there. I'm not talking a location. I mean, just an observation.
Correct, correct.
What can be more important for a president of a temple than to be there and actually encourage the people who are distributing books?
Correct, correct, correct.
So, ISKCON as an organization, because we are talking about institutional power here,
Mm.
there are so many good things to talk about.
Mm.
But sometimes, we see within our own organization where leaders are just holding to the positions, not really
Yeah.
setting a right example.
So, in such cases, you will see, for example, now this time Rath Yatra, I was not in Pune at all. I am here whole week because I have responsibility in Hyderabad and Pune and in America also. Correct now? Now in Pune, there are people who wrote long mails to me saying that, Prabhu, you missed Rath Yatra, it was extraordinary. So many people came and they sent me videos and everything. We assumed that you are going to be in Pune. Huh? They said, but I said, Leela captured me for the whole week. Huh? I said I couldn't be there in Pune. So as we grow in seniority, for example, in our ISKCON Abhij, if you see, Radheshyam Prabhu is a president in Bangalore and here also. If you see Sitaram Prabhu, he is actually living in Mayapur with his wife and 4 sons, and he is a council member in Juhu, and he also has responsibility for the Warangal, and he has got Attapur temple, and he has another project in Bhiwandi also. So these are 5 places. Now, how much can one person, we are not like Krishna to expand in 16,108 palaces. Krishna can expand everywhere, all around. So, what I feel should be done in this kind of leadership situations, the leaders can take turns. For example, Sitaram Prabhu does administration, management, planning, and organizing for Nityan sector. He does. I don't involve in that directly. And I take a responsibility for spiritual training, in visiting the programs, people. Like I'm doing 3 slate programs for 3 different groups now. So we have shared our responsibilities like this. And also in festivals, we made up our mind that at least 1 out of the 4 will be there. Either sometime Radheshyam Prabhu is there, others are not there. Vedant Prabhu is like a common denominator because this is his main temple for him. Apart from that, own goal, he has little responsibility. But main temple is this. So he is able to give more time. But other 3 of us, we are, moving to other places also. So one most important thing is, even Paramahansa Radheshyam Maharaj, for example, in those days, 8 months he was in India and 5 months he used to go out. Now actually 3-4 months is in India now. 8 months he goes out because now times have passed. When I go to Chapati, all the seniors are all over the world. Radha Gopinath Prabhu, Brajavihari Prabhu. Very difficult to catch. Shamanand Prabhu, Gauranga Prabhu. Those people who are actually forming the temple in those days, The main people for whose inspiration people would come there. Now none of them are in that place now because we are globalized now. Everywhere they are wanted. Gaurugopal Prabhu, even if he's there, you can't meet him in the temple. It's very difficult for common people because everybody wants autograph and photo and everything. So, and all of them are like stars, many of them, very famous devotees. So, then the congregation may feel a little discouraged. The main people whom we are looking for are not there. Other fellows are younger people. What to do? So, what Maharaj was telling us, as we grow, then the next level people should be empowered, and then they take responsibility, and then this is the way things as it grows. But what is important is if somebody is occupying a post but not doing anything at all, he is just holding the post for many long years, decades, but he doesn't contribute in any way. Like you said, you write email, he doesn't respond. You call on phone, he doesn't respond back to the phone call. And he's supposed to sign, he is not available for signing for months together. You present a problem to him, he doesn't solve the problem. He doesn't preach, he doesn't train, he doesn't do anything, but just holding the post. Just because that post holding helps him to, have some influence over people. And that is condemned here. Correct, no? That's condemned here, yeah. So therefore, he says institutions require leaders who are attuned, powerful, loving, compassionate, and focused on truly serving their members. Like a teacher should serve the students. Similarly, a preacher should serve those who are getting preached and becoming devotees. Counselor should serve their counselees by helping them. And you have to see whether I am benefiting them or I am just holding a title. Neither is saying. So I think we already discussed the quiz. Example of an institution that exercised right use of power, and example of an institution that exercised wrong use of power. Any examples you have?
I don't know how many would, it's my interpretation. The second one, wrong use of power. Actually, it happened during the COVID time, where as bigger organization like the World Health Organization was kind of biased. They said at one point that it was not really doing what was needed, when many people were claiming that it all started in Wuhan in China.
They were trying to deny
They
it.
were trying to deny and suppress the whole fact. I felt it was the wrong use of power.
You felt there may be some political motives.
Yeah, sometimes. Even this big world organizations like Prabhupada says, the World United Nations and so many big worldwide organizations they are creating, which is supposed to be uniform across all the countries, and but you see it is actually controlled by some big superpowers, and
Then there's
small
a bias.
people. Yeah, there is a bias.
Basically, this is the main point we are discussing now. There should be no bias based on material considerations. See, anybody representing God, especially ISKCON and all of us, we have to make sure that we are benefiting people in the way that Prabhupada and Guru Parampara and ultimately Krishna wants us to benefit. So it's called as a superconductor, we call it. If a devotee is like a superconductor, all electricity can pass through a superconductor. Anybody knows in superconductor how much resistance it has? Yeah, zero resistance, yeah. So Prahlad is superconductor. And Hiranyakashipu is 100% resistance. Correct, na? Not even one trace of electricity can pass through. 100% resistance. Prahlad has zero resistance, you will see. And Arjuna in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita had great resistance. At the end of Bhagavad Gita, he also became like a superconductor. Agreed to be conducted by Krishna. Correct, no? So initially he had a resistance, and the resistance was dissolved by Krishna's preaching. Like that. So all of us have to become like that, become proper conductors in the hands of the acharyas in the line, and not to misuse our power. I say underuse of power is laziness, lethargy. And misuse of power is aggression and exploitation. Correct, now? Yeah. So all those things should be avoided.
Prabhuji, sorry.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, just as please don't consider it as a personal comment in group. I'm really amazed by how you respond to emails, Prabhuji. Really,
Actually, I try my best to respond with inserting my answers with lines and then seeing the videos and responding back. But I am also sometimes finding it difficult to do it for a lot of leaders across the globe. Now I am going to America also, 3 months in a year. Then I have in Pune. Pune also there is a group, a children group. They sent me the Balotsav entire videos. It took me almost 4 to 5 hours to go through the whole thing, and I gave also a lot of critical analysis also to modify those things. And I insert. They were very happy with my. Even though I told them this was wrong, that was wrong, they were very happy that I found out. That means you've seen the video fully. I was very surprised. How generally people appreciate good, 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 good. So they say that Prabhuji, many fellows put good, we know they've never gone through it. But you gave us points for improvement next year. Next year, you see these things, we would have completely changed. They said they're very, very happy. So when I went to Pune, I went for a meeting with them and gave them prices and everything. And I'm sometimes finding it difficult to do it for all the people because number of leaders are increasing. Like I have, president, vice president level, there are 30 leaders in India with whom I have a couple of hours meeting every month. Similarly, the next level, 80 brahmacharis are there, Brinda group. Then now I have the slate groups now. The more I connect with these people and do programs and all, then they write many questions. A lot of emails come. Email is one thing, reporting is another thing. And then they bring subtle problems to handle. How do we handle this, handle that? So I don't know. As much Krishna gives me capacity, I can do.
But Prabhuji, dealing with you for some years now, me and maybe few of others,
Yeah.
we are spoiled now. That we are expecting similar, response from others.
See, expecting is good, but not very quick response should not be expected. Huh? Like, my Guru Maharaj also in those days used to write a whole letter back. I got a letter from Maharaj. He replied back. Nowadays, to get even one line reply is difficult for him because he told me when I met him, see, look at my computer. There were 3,000 mails unanswered. He said, I don't know how to catch up. It's humanly impossible, he said. So Maharaj said, I see your mails, but I may not be able to respond immediately. So Maharaj said, now you guys, you all have to help me with my disciples in different parts of the world because I won't be able to respond to all of them. So Maharaj's style is known as Ranath Maharaj, I'm telling. His style is he keeps some senior disciples in different places. So through those fellows are supposed to keep the people happy so that things don't come to his level. Now, eventually, as I spend more than 30 years in the movement, then I will also have to take help through all of you to take care of the people. But of course, I can honestly say, Gachibowli community is such a mature community that you all are keeping people so happy. Uh, I don't have to handle any complaints from this community because you are also mature. You are only taking care at your level. I'm only hearing good news report about Rath Yatras and programs and all the wonderful things come. And this seminar, what we are doing, this type of seminars, what we are doing, this will teach you the principles by which you will see that gradually our consciousness is getting polished more and more, by which you can handle the problems yourself only. You will not need me only for handling problems. And that's what Maharaj does also, my spiritual master. He will only teach the principles and he will expect us to implement the principles and solve the problems at our level without bringing everything to him. He doesn't like bringing chota problems to him. So that is the reason we are doing this late, because you will not even know how you are assimilating these things inside. Tomorrow these principles will come to help. That's the reason. Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, for the second question, when state governments has the power to ban cow slaughter and liquor ban,
Why don't they do
they're
it?
not doing it. So can we say-
See, they have done ban also in many places. In India, not all states have banned, but some states have banned. They have banned. It's not that politicians don't want to do. There are a lot of parameters. For example, there are cow flesh eaters who steal the cows and they even take by aggression also. There are people who take also. And a lot of revenue is involved there. Like why government should sell liquor and cigarette? They are making money. Ideally, they should not do that. Government. In COVID time, they were giving home delivery for liquor bottles. You know that? You don't know? Oh, it's very famous. It came in paper. That was the first thing which was given home delivery. Nah. Yeah. Because they thought we should serve the people. Otherwise, how will they go to shops and buy? They can't come out, so we will serve them. What kind of service is this? Killing people. Huh? So Because the government should not make revenue through the four sinful activities, ideally speaking. Somebody has to educate the leaders and bring them to that point of sanity. That, you may make a lot of money through this, but ultimately you are destroying the people by this. Yeah. But in those days, kings were very strict. Even Ekadashi, they were very strict. Kings made a rule that everybody should follow Ekadashi Vrata in the kingdom. Prabhupada says that. Hmm. Maybe tomorrow some ISKCON leader may become PM of India. Huh? Then they can institute correct. Yeah. Please read that next one, emotional power.
Hare Krishna. Emotional power. The third category of power is emotional power. Emotional power affects our passions and emotions. It is the power that makes us worship entertainers and athletes as if they were God Himself, to such an extent that we may fall into a trance like ecstasy or faint in their presence. We all know people who have pictures of movie stars, sports heroes, or famous singers on their walls. These star struck individuals dress like them, talk like them, walk like them, and if we mention some tidbit about them, drop what they are doing and want to hear every last detail.
They as if they're mad after them, correct, no? You can see that. So, okay, if some leader like Beatles group, huh? Once I heard about the Beatles group, uh, George Harrison was so popular. In the airport, when he would come in a plane, lot of big crowd of people will break into the airport. And the airport authorities cannot stop at all. Huh? They would just push into the airport and they will even enter the airport and go up to the plane. Huh? Where the plane, and there were people who even climbed on the top of the plane. Huh? Yeah. To see him through the window. They were so mad. Huh? And when he would walk down the steps, there'll be a big wooing sound of all the people, glorifying him so much. People are mad for his autograph and everything. So that's what he's saying here. This is emotionally, people are driven by, they become like fanfare, we say, people become fans. That's emotional power. But if these leaders can take to Krishna consciousness, they can do great good, correct, no? If they say something, people may take it seriously. Yeah. So give an example of emotional power utilized for misuse. Anybody has an example?
Prabhuji, in Tamil Nadu, I heard that the heroine Khushbu was made a temple and she was worshipped like a goddess. So that is a kind of a emotional power being shown.
Correct, yeah, correct. how mad people can be, yeah? Correct, no? Ramachandran, MG Ramachandran also, they had a temple. Rajinikanth also. Rajinikanth is still alive, he's still in the planet. Already they made a temple for him. Huh? Huh? Answer Rajinath, yeah, crazy. Ah, he is saying, Mataji, that he or she can't be blamed for that. It is people's insanity and madness that makes them do so. Do we have example of somebody using their emotional power for misuse?
Prabhuji, sometime some actors and actresses they advertise the gutka pan masala and other things. So they try to aggregate people in that.
Correct. That means, they use that emotional appeal for a wrong purpose, especially destroying people. See, in almost 40, 50 years ago, one research in science showed that, and they were thinking that the cigarette smoking can be healthy for the lungs. It can be healthy for this thing. Like that they published. Then they told Ronald Reagan to wear a doctor's dress, like apron, and then take a cigarette and say that, oh, hey guys, all of you can smoke. It's very good for health. Our research has shown. Like that, he did that advertisement. Within a year, they found out it is deadly for the lungs. Smoking cigarette, it can kill people. Cocaine and smoking cigarette and all that. But by the time, millions had fallen prey to that bad habit by the time. So therefore, in this way, Ronald Reagan is a big man. So naturally, people can use their emotional influence for propagating wrong advertisements. Correct. That's true.
Roji, even
Correct. Oh, they are killing 10,000 buffaloes. Huh? Horrible letters. Actually, they are ultimately they are killing for eating purpose. Such a dirty thing. So these are all, that means misuse of religious power. Misuse in the name of religion, people can. In fact, even in a meat shop, they put the word Kalika Mandir, they put. Prabhupada says that they are misusing their, religious sentiment of people. People think because they have written Kalika Mandir, if you eat meat, no problem. But Prabhupada also says, Mam Saha means I will become that goat and I will be killed in the next life. So,
Prabhuji,
yes.
sometimes we are seeing these days that they are making movies which are against, which are showing religion in a very small
Bad
way.
light.
Yeah,
Like our
like
white,
PK.
yeah, correct. PK and also this
Oh my God.
OMG.
Yeah.
See, they know one thing, religion involves tremendous faith. And by little bit using their movie to criticize some of the misuses of religion, that creates a lot of interest in people. Because people want to know, "Hamare par mein kya bola?" What they have said about us. Induces curiosity. So they make crores of rupees. Like Adi Purush, you must have heard about that also. Adi Purush. They have portrayed Hanuman like Superman, like a James Bond hero kind of thing, very harsh looking. But Hanuman has a soft sentiments towards Rama. All those things are missed out. So the whole idea is they are using, even people like Amish Tripathi and all has written a book on Sita, but with a lot of speculation added, which is not given in Ramayana. So these are practical problems. They are tampering with the scripture and ruining the minds of the youth, publishing such books. Because he is a popular writer, he may have good English. He is using that popularity for a wrong purpose. That's what is being said here. Thank you. Academic power, please read it.
Next is academic power. What these so-called teachers promote, Big Bang, Darwin's theory, etc., actually becomes accepted as a standard of truth and knowledge, just because of the powerful mystic they possess in this culture.
Yeah, because the scientists are, adored like gods by the materialistic people. Because they have given us aeroplane, they have given us smartphone, they have given us video games, you know, they have given us communication systems, they have given us computers. So because they have given these applications of science, which is called technology, we call it. So due to this, the scientists are worshipped like gods by the people. Now the scientists, having assumed some amount of authority in the eyes of the people, can misuse that authority to cheat the people by teaching wrong, bogus theories which are baseless, like Big Bang theory, Darwin theory. That's the point made here. So Prabhupada used to call them as rascals. Why? Because imagine if your small child is wearing a necklace of 20 lakh rupees worth necklace you have put on the neck of your child. A thief comes and gives a 2 rupee banana and takes away the 20 lakh in a necklace. So therefore he is called a rascal. Similarly, scientists, they want to give you the 2 rupee banana, which is like the gadgets. And they want to take away your faith in God. So that is why Prabhupada used to strongly condemn the atheistic fellows. Yeah. So now we told the example of academic power utilized for misuse. Read the below, the types of power.
Yeah. The types of power listed so far are essentially material and or psychological. They are developed by our material efforts and can be used for the upliftment or degradation of society depending on our motivations. They are also temporary. Physical strength can wane, political power and fame can be great one day and gone the next. Even our academic notoriety can vanish overnight when our theories are replaced with new ideas.
Correct. Now. Like I told you, Ronald Reagan propagated cigarette, then quickly realized next year it was, it was opposite.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yeah,
can I
yeah.
ask? Prabhuji, there's a lot of research that's going on nowadays, like genetically modified food is being provided.
Very dangerous. It's very dangerous. Genetically modified food. Like mung dal, if you see, it shines like gold. Genetically modified, but it has no that strength that you get in a natural mung dal. Similarly, you see the apple, which is reddish apple. When you put it in the mouth, you bite it, chava, 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 no taste only. On the other hand, the green apple, you will see, which is coming naturally by the touch of the moon's moonshine, that has juice, actual juice. So all these genetically modified foods are weakening and they lack in the vitamins. And that is why the children don't have strong bodies nowadays. So you can find out, Mataji, from when you're buying in the market, if they say it's GM food, you can avoid it. Although it looks very appealing to the eyes. Yeah. Like tomato you'll find, like the big tomato you'll find. Everything genetically modified. Ah, kaddu also, this, what do you call kaddu? That pumpkin. They give oxygen injection, become very long and very big. If you open it, it's all like cotton inside. No flesh in that. Genetically modified food is very attractive, but it's very dangerous because they are modifying with doing a lot of meddling work in that.
So the question is, Prabhuji, they do in vitro fertilization and all this research is
They
going
are
on.
implanting fish into the tomato. Can you imagine? Of course, it stopped now, but the problem is even vegetarian become non-vegetarian if they too much meddle with the nature. Actually, people's greed only matters. Like, British came to India, they saw that Gandhi is promoting Swadeshi movement. You take cotton and you make this charka and you make our own dresses. You know what they did? These British people, if you go to Adilabad, they will tell you. These British people, brought one type of cotton plant from their country, Manchester. And if you make cotton with that tree, that cotton you cannot use for charka. You have to make only milk cloth only. So they told all Indians that now you cannot make natural cotton coming in India. You have to take cotton seeds from us. Why they wanted them to take the cotton seeds? Because those trees produce another type of cotton, which cannot be used in your charka machine. Just like we have desi guy and we have the jersey guy like that. Also. But fortunately, we still have Indian cotton available now. If you ask Adilabad devotees, there are cotton industries. They will tell you about this. So ultimately, man's exploitative nature creates lot of problem in the environment also.
So one should not, one should be careful to not to be involved in such kind of
Yeah,
research.
correct, definitely. Say for example, one of you ladies is a gynecologist. I'm just giving an example. Say you happen to be a gynecologist. You have a hospital where you're aborting the children. Now you have become a Krishna conscious devotee now. Then one can find out, I am already a gynecologist, but I am aborting children. What can I do now? Because many of the abortions people do now are sinful nowadays. Because boys, girls mix and they come and they want to abort the child. And we will be also taking part in their sinful activity. Then she can opt out of working in a hospital. She can become a teacher, in a medical line. She's a doctor. She can become a teacher in medical line. Or she can start a dispensary or something. Or she can start her own clinic at home in a polyclinic or something. In this way, she can actually avoid doing that activity. Correct, no? Is it clear? Similarly, you are in biomedical or something. If our research is leading to such complications, then we have one good thing in the modern times is even if you are in one field, there are various alternatives for you. Like one girl has done LLB and LLM. Now she's telling if I go to the court and I want to argue for somebody, many of them tell us to speak lies. So then her counselor suggested, then better become a teacher in the college. She became a teacher now. You don't have to tell lies as a teacher. You just have to speak from the books. Correct now. Yeah. All right.
Thank you,
Please
Prabhuji.
read this one.
Intuitive power.
This one.
Intuitive power.
Yeah.
Intuition and inspiration refers to something which is difficult to obtain, even with a great mental endeavor, but which just comes in our mind completely in full form, as if it is planted in our heart by someone from outside or from within. It comes all of a sudden, unexpectedly, and is not related to how much effort we have put in. In the Western world, there was a celebrated music composer, Mozart, whose compositions are considered to be masterpieces even today. In his biography, it is written that he himself would be astounded when the music composition would come to him all of a sudden.
Yeah. Similarly, Ilayaraja also in India. He came with hundreds of ragas. He says, I just don't know. The intuition comes from inside. God is giving me ready-made music. There was one scientist who was frantically researching for the benzene structure. One day he was going in the bus and he dozed and he saw two snakes biting one another, biting each other's tail like that. And I was wondering, why am I getting this dream? He took his pen and paper and he drew that, and that turned out to become benzene structure. Huh? Another fellow went to bathroom to take a bath and he sat in the bathtub and the water level rised. He jumped out. Eureka, he said, and came out of the bathroom only in his this thing shorts. Huh? Came running out. People thought, what, he has gone mad or what? Huh? He said, now in the bathroom I discovered the law of displacement of water. Huh? That's a law. Huh? That occurred to him quickly. It's called Eureka experience, we call it. Huh? So in this way, there is Shakuntala, one lady, she was a mathematician. 200 digits she can give her. Another 200 digits below, she can multiply and give you the answer very quickly. She says, I don't know, it's all God working through me. She says like that. So these are people who can see with your eyes. Huh? Yeah, it's intuition, we call it. Yeah, read it. And this I already told you, this one, Archimedes. Ramanujam also. When Ramanujam was in Tamil Nadu, South India, as a small boy, he used to take a black slate and he would write some mathematical equations, and with his hand he would rub it like this. And again he would be writing very complex differential equations. Hmm? So later on, one of his friends saw this and then told the teacher, and the maths teacher saw that, and teacher was shocked. Arey, this small school boy is writing such complex differential equations. Huh? And then he's not writing something which makes no sense. It is actually some of the mathematical researchers at that time, Gauss, one Mr. Gauss was doing, Gauss in mathematics. So he had some queries, the answers of which were actually with Ramanuja. And then the teacher said, don't write it in a slate and rub it, you write it in a notebook. Then he started writing in a notebook. And everything made sense to big mathematicians in India. Then he was called abroad. He was called abroad and then he went. So he also says the same thing. Actually, even as a small boy, I used to write, it's all God's gift. Yeah. The intuition which comes. Not a very easy thing. You saw in the previous one of the meeting, I showed a dog counting maths. Plus and minus and everything, correct? Yeah. So this is what I told you, Shakuntala Devi. And then read this one. Once we.
From where, Prabhu?
Here.
Once
here.
we understand that inspiration does indeed take place, a question immediately follows. How does it happen? Atheistic people have stretched their imaginations to the wildest possible limits to explain it, but they have no worthwhile explanation. But any intelligent person can easily understand that a super intelligent being is supplying the inspiration to the person involved, and that super intelligent being is undoubtedly the Paramatma.
That is intuition. So we will stop with this one. Read this one. Whenever we are.
Yeah. Whenever we are about to commit a sinful act, a voice from within forbids us and warns us of the consequences.
It's a guilty feeling.
Yes.
If you have committed a mistake, you feel guilty. If you are about to do a blunder, there's a warning. Both you will see in the heart, what we call as conscience in English. So the conscience is super soul. Yeah. Commonly
known as the voice of conscience. It is actually the Paramatma urging us to abstain from sin.
Yeah. So, it's called intuitive power. So many examples we gave for intuitive power. We gave Shakuntala, we gave Archimedes, we gave Ramanujam, we gave Mozart, like that many others we gave. So that's intuitive power. And intuitive power comes from within and it is miraculous, it's magical. Some people are gifted with that and Lord comes. So in this way, different powers we are discussing today. See, we started with, if you see, types of power. We went ahead and then identifying the types of power, physical power, institutional power, emotional power, then academic power, then intuitive power. We covered all these different powers today. And then there are two more, sacred power and divine power, which are very pertinent, relevant to devotees in the realm of spiritual practice. So I will start with this page number 4, sacred power next time, and then sacred power, divine power, Daiva and Purushakara. Very important terms are coming. And then how to be responsible leaders and what is empowerment is coming Next time we will discuss about that. What is empowerment? And then we have many examples of empowerment we are given. This will go very fast because generally the beginning part of the lesson takes some time to understand. This whole thing will get over in the next class. Srila Prabhupada ki और Bhaktavinda ki.
Hare Krishna.
So one question to all of you. What will you gain by this knowledge? Anybody can say? In today we discussed some different types of powers we discussed. What are some of the things? 3 points in a silent point. Yes, one. Give the mic to him.
All these powers are temporary, and we should always think that these are all sanctioned by Paramatma, and we should always be dependent upon him.
Thank you. Very good. Anybody else?
We should always be thoughtful about like whatever powers we have, how can we utilize it in Krishna's service?
Thank you. Very good. We should always be thoughtful and we should make sure we use it in Krishna service and not misuse it. Yeah, here there's a hand.
One more thing, we should utilize the power in a proper way. We should not misuse that. The Krishna will not be happy whatever we are doing.
Correct.
So
you have monetary power, you have physical power, you have mental power, you have emotional power, you have institutional power, academic power. Yes, that is also correct. Thank you. Anybody else?
Prabhuji, personally, I feel that Krishna says that he is the remembrance, he gives the ability, he sanctions.
Correct.
Similarly, he also gives forgetfulness.
Yes.
And he can also make ability to inability. So that is always there. Whatever I do.
We should always remember. He
remember
can
that,
withdraw.
how insignificant
He is
we are.
giving power, he can take away the power also. Yes. So beware that if like Indra, for example, he misuses his power by showering rains at the Vijayavasis, correct? No? So then Krishna could have taken him out of post, but Krishna just chastised him and then allowed him to continue. Huh? But sometimes Krishna can take away also. That's true, yeah. Thank you. Bhaumasura was born to Krishna and Bhumi Devi. Huh? Varaha Deva and Bhumi Devi. But Krishna killed him, although he was supposed to be like God's son. Huh? On the other hand, Prahlad is born in a demoniac family. Lord kept him on his lap. Huh? That means somebody follows the Lord, they flourish. Somebody goes against the Lord's will, they perish. Thank you. Anything else you learn? Also, you can give the mic to him.
Prabhuji, I was relating to the book that I was reading that's called Power versus Force by David R. Hawkins. And it actually talks about the force and the power. So when we are looking at negative misuses, so it is actually related to how people are behaving on the negative consciousness level. So how are they actually behaving lesser than, like he gives levels and 200 levels and below. And then he gives that when you are working beyond that, then is what you get the power. So to influence the people in the right manner, and that's where the neutrality or the love and the peace and the servant leadership and so that we are referring to as well.
Thank you. That's actually the main theme today. That there is a positive use of power, there's a negative use of power. And if we possess the power, we should use it positively. And all of you are becoming leaders. You are going to influence the lives of people coming to your programs, and how you utilize your powers. That's why this empowerment is very good. In the next class, when we learn about the empowerment that was given to Hanuman or Arjuna and such great people, or Prabhupada, how they got that empowerment and they can do humanly impossible tasks. Whether we can also be recipient of such empowerment, all those things we will learn. Thank you, Mr. Prabhupada ki.
Let us thank His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu for coming here and conducting slate classes for all of us exclusively here with three loud and enthusiastic Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And I also would like to thank Gajendra Prabhu and the whole group who has come from literally 1.5 hours far from here to attend the classes here. Let's welcome them with three loud Hari Bols. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. There is also Nirendra Prabhu and the whole group from Nalagandla who has come here and joined us here. So we together are doing this class. Let's welcome them with three loud Hari Bols.